Okay, it's the 23rd of November. It's the 60th anniversary technically today, although the first episode of the 60th isn't out until Saturday. But anyway, big finish delivery today. I've also watched the Doctor Who Bargain Hunt special. And calling it a Doctor Who Bargain Hunt special is a bit of a stretch. I might do a separate video on it, but the two teams, the red and the blue team, like, they say, oh, they're major Doctor Who fans. They're not. They're really not. They're really, really not. Like, I will say they are Doctor Who fans, but they're more casual than anything else. And, yeah, though they did have an actual collector on there later on, who, I keep forgetting his name. He's the guy who owns Dalek 17. And, yeah. So that was the only segment in the episode that actually did feel like, you know, okay, this is now Doctor Who special. But the thing is, the rest of it, like, it was just bargain hunt, you know, except the two people who go around with the teams and that are very vaguely dressed like the Doctor. So yeah, so we've got a few things in here. So, put them on one side. So, we've got the next two Wonks and Future, which these ones, I mean, my initial two and that were perfectly fine, but a lot of people who got the first two had issues with their labels. And basically they've sent me replacement, they just sent everyone basically replacement ones for all of them. Thankfully mine were actually alright. I was one of the few people who got one where they were alright, so I've just got extra inlays and that. I didn't ask for them and that, but they just sent them out anyway, so that's nice. So it also means I've probably got two numbers, because they are all individually numbered there as well, so yeah. But it's interesting. I have heard the finale to this, number 7, because yeah, it's kind of the end of the story. Like, I will say, obviously the final one, the 8th one, comes out next year, which is really weird. Why? But yeah, I'll say about Once Upon a Future. Once in Future, it's, to be honest, apart from that last story, really, it was basically just an excuse to basically, have a load of, you know, returning doctors and companions and that, and just do a load of switching ups and stuff like that, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, Two's Company. So this one features prominently mostly the 6th Doctor, and also has Harry Sullivan in it, and also has, for some reason, Lady Christina D'Souza before Planet of the Dead, and also Jackie Tyler in there as well. But yeah, their memories get erased at the end. Yeah, for some reason in this story it's mentioned, and only in this story, that, oh, you know, everyone's memory in that gets erased afterwards, which, yeah, I don't think is being mentioned up to this point. Mine's got a little bit lumpy, that logo. It is a little bit lumpy. It's not too bad, thankfully. How are those ones? Yeah, those ones are alright. But, yeah. The thing is, and there's my number. What number is it? 2,179 out of 3,000. And then we've got the Martian invasion of Planetoid 50, which features the 10th Doctor and Missy, and I enjoy it for that. Like, it's always good having Michelle Gomez in there, which generally this, you know, is a fun little story. So I will give it that. This one was definitely better than this one was. This one was just kind of a meh kind of thing. Though it does feature and a new incarnation of the 11th. And that's not really a spoiler, because if you know anything about the 11th or the 12th or whatever, but it features the earliest incarnation, the 2, in that one. But yeah, it's a basically Doctor Who villain masquerades as the Doctor for the majority of the story, type 1. Yeah, so this one, my number for this one is 1252. But yeah, this one, it wasn't brilliant, but it was a fun little romp. So I will give it that. So it was at least entertaining, that one. The disappointing thing is, rather than having these, all individual slipcase ones, to be honest, I would have preferred, and I don't know whether they will do this, but I would have preferred what they did previously with the 50th anniversary ones, where they did, they had the 50th anniversary story itself, that Big Finish gave, but they also did, like, companion type chronicles. They did 11, like, companion type chronicles, and you could get them. I never got that, unfortunately. I only ever got them digitally, but you could get them in this, like, TARDIS box that they all slotted into. And it would have been nice if we had something like this for this, where we had like a box where they all sort of slotted into. That would have been nice. It would have felt more like a collection. Where are my other ones of these? I wonder if I put them behind there. Don't worry, everyone. Continue what you're doing while I search for stuff like live on camera. What did I do with them? Oh, I know. I put them in there. I put them in this box to the side. Yeah. Though I have to clear everything on top of it to put them in, which I will do at some point. But yeah. So it was nice that they did send that, because I knew I was getting replacements for. Whoa! They fell over. I knew I was getting replacement slips for 1 and 2. But I didn't know I was getting it for the third one. But I'm happy that I am. As I said, I don't really need them myself, but I will keep them nonetheless. I'll be interested to see whether they've actually checked the numbers and they correspond. Probably not, they're probably completely random. And that's, but yeah, these are taking, like, the thing is though, I don't know why they're taking so long to manufacture and come out, because, like, I've got it here, actually. This came out, came out and was delivered to me, like, a couple of days after the story actually came out, which is what Big Finish normally do. I understand why the vinyl records took longer, because, there's, not just with them, but basically with every company and that, there's basically a higher demand than there is supply, so I can understand that. But with CDs, yeah, because these are just in standard jewel cases. And these are just cardboard slipcovers, which, have a little Doctor Who sort of foil branding in that on there, but still, standard card. So, like, I don't understand where the massive manufacturing issues been here with that. I don't know. If someone does know the actual reason, for that. I will say, though, it was properly packaged. They did put a bit of cardboard in there, extra cardboard in there to make sure, it won't slide about. So, yeah, they do at least, package it. The postman just shoved that through the door, despite it saying bloody fragile. Just like, shove it through. Thankfully, as you can see, they're all right. So, but yeah, it's a bit interesting. Just a bit interesting, the fact that that's happened. But nevertheless, we'll see. What happens, and that maybe they'll announce something with that. But yeah, in terms of the story itself, since I have listened to basically its finale, it's all right. Like, basically, they just have their ups and downs and that. They just, it has the problem of not really feeling like an anniversary special, really. For one, apart from basically because the Doctor keeps degenerating, unfortunately there's no part during the entire story, all 7 of them. Again, we'll have to wait to see what happens with the 8th one, the epilogue one. But there's no Doctors interacting with each other, unfortunately, so you're not getting that with any of them. The only exception to that is with the 6th one, the one that comes after that, with the 9th Doctor, because there we have the Unbound Doctor, David Warner, which I think, is that the last one he recorded? Well, I don't know if it was the last one. I think that's his last one, if I remember rightly. I think, because obviously he's passed away in that. I think that was the last one of his to come out. So that's but that's an Unbound Doctor, with our regular Doctor having interactions. So yeah, it's disappointing that there isn't that in any of them. But anyway, there we go, people. There we go. Alright, so it's the 1st of December. It's bloody warm in here. So I'd already opened up the box here because I thought it was something else, but it's not. So hopefully mine is alright, because my friend's got one of these as well, and his was not alright. His had some damage to it. So yeah, it's not as badly packaged, because Amazon packages their records half the time, because half the time they don't even put them in a bloody box, and so they'll obviously get damaged. So yeah, this is from, I think it's from Cancer Research on their eBay store. I'm going to keep this bubble wrap, get loads of... To be fair, they put it in a lot of bubble wrap, but they did put it in a massive, massive box for it. But, at least I can see it, they're trying. They're trying. Although mine might vary to other people's, I think it depends. Because, yeah, I've seen some people with other ones where they didn't package it up like this. I think some people can see or guess what it is anyway. Yeah, mine has thankfully arrived safely. So yeah, it's the Celestial Toymaker. So initially I passed up on getting this release, but Cancer Research had this up for £9.99 plus £4 delivery. And thankfully, God, you got a bucket load of bubble wrap with that delivery, which I will keep that because that will come in useful. So yeah, I passed up on this initially because, it wasn't one I was hugely for, to be honest, because the Celestial Toymaker, the problem is the best episodes are episodes 1 and 4, and we already have episode 4, so yeah, but, with his return at the time of recording, 2 weeks in a day's time, yeah, might as well. They also had the Sensorites up there for the same price, which technically is better value because that is a 3 LP set, this is only 2. However, the Sensorites is not. I'm not really interested in getting the story that already exists. If it was the incidental music from it, then that might change my mind. But the story itself, no. But yeah, as you can see, it is on 2 King and Queen's 140-gram coloured vinyl. And I do quite like the artwork for this, it is quite nice. And it is a gatefold. They're always the same on the inside though, that's the disappointing thing with all of these, is that, you get this nice artwork and then inside they're just always this. It would be nice if it had some artwork and that on the inside, or pictures from the actual story, and that would have been nice. And the sleeves are always the same as well. The sleeves are always exactly the bloody same. So yeah, it would have been nice if there's a bit of variety in there. Though, to be fair, these sleeves aren't bad. Actually, they're fairly thick. So yeah, this is disc 1, which is red vinyl. Actually, it's a much darker red, actually, than I'm used to. Where are my bloody... No, that's my outer sleeves. Where are my inner sleeves? There's one, although is that the factory error one? We'll soon find out, because I do have a... No, that one's perfectly fine. Great. There we go. It's in a sleeve. This is also anti-static. Now, the reason this is important is because, one, it prevents static build-up. Number two is it also helps to prevent against any dust or scratches against the records themselves. So, yeah, generally always get anti-static sleeves, which, you know, don't cost very much. And that the prices do vary, but normally you can get like, you know, 100 for maybe around £10 to £15. Again, prices do vary quite a bit. Let's have a look at disc 2, which is blue. Again, very much fitting in with the Toymaker theme. And I will say, though, the Demon's records, vinyl records, are really well mastered. These, and also the quality of them is really good as well. Like, speaking for someone who, I don't know if you can see behind me there, who collects a lot of vinyl records, let's just say, basically, the quality does vary with them. For example, I find the bigger companies, surprisingly enough, have the shittest quality ones. For example, Warner Brothers, their quality is normally crap a lot of the time. So yeah, Demon Records very good. Mondo Records also really good quality and silver screen and that. So yeah, it's generally the smaller, I think they're called boutique labels. They generally have better quality ones than the bigger companies do. There we go. Nice inner sleeve and that there. Keep it nice and protected. So yeah, I think the problem also with the Celestial Toymaker is that obviously since it's a missing story, is the fact that basically, unfortunately, you know, it's kind of like got the same problem that Enemy of the World had, in that it's such a visual story, and without the visuals there, you know, it has that problem of being hard to come across, and no animation I don't think would perfectly take it across, and also any animation would certainly censor certain lines in this, well, a particular line. And we all know what line that is going to be, but I'm not going to say it because YouTube's auto thingy is going to bloody take that video down quicker than you could imagine. There we go, put it in an outer sleeve. The reason the outer sleeve is important for, again, stopping dust and that getting, but also stopping it from basically rubbing against the other records and causing damage that way, and also making it easier to slide in and out. So yeah, this will go in the Dock 2 section, which is starting to run out of a bit of space there, so yeah, but hopefully it should fit in that okay. Okay, so today's the 6th of January 2024. Package here, presumably it's got to be from Big Finish, because yes, it is. Oh, okay, it wasn't the one I was expecting. Seems like there's a slight bit of damage to that corner there. I can straighten it up a bit. There we go. So this is the War Doctor Begins Enemy Mine, which is the last of the War Doctor Begins box sets. Though it will most likely, it's heavily teased in it, but in the behind the scenes, that it probably won't be the last War Doctor thing that Big Finish do. But in terms of the War Doctor Begins, this is basically the last of them out. Yeah, it's weird amount to do 6. Normally they either do 4 or 8. So yeah, but they've done 6 for this. And yeah, the main reason is because this finally brings a conclusion to the overarching story the hybrid story. Yes, there's a hybrid in this, but yeah, and the cover is a bit misleading as ever. It's kind of like because obviously we've got Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor, and that in there. And yeah, his appearance, he's in the third and final story, Exit Strategy, very briefly. And I do mean very briefly. I think probably less than 10 minutes. Well, no, definitely less than 10 minutes. If, you know, it's not much. Like, it would be so. Like, to be honest, it would have been so much better actually if his face wasn't on the front cover, because then it would have been much more of a surprise type thing. But yeah, obviously it's a big advertising bit in the box set. But if you were hoping, oh, a meeting between the War Doctor and the 8th Doctor, that doesn't really happen in this. So yeah, if that's what you're hoping for with this, sorry, but you're not really getting that with this. So yeah, but it is a decent box and it is a good box set to finish it all on. I actually listened to the entirety of this, or just about the entirety of this, on Boxing Day when I went to York. So yeah, it's a fun bit of trivia there. But yeah, as a final box set, you know, to finish off these, you know, this story arc, because I think it did go on a little bit too long. But yeah, it was enjoyable enough. So yeah. Alright, so it's the 2nd of February day. Big Finish box set. This actually came in the post yesterday, though I haven't had a chance to open it until today. Checking to see there's no damage to it. Thankfully there isn't. So this is the 7th Doctor, The Last Day Part 1. Now this is just like what they did with the 6th Doctor. This is a final adventure for the 7th Doctor, except this is a bit different compared to what they did with the 6th Doctor. With the 6th Doctor, it was a box set of 4 different adventures, and the only thing that really linked them together was the Valeyard appearing in all 4 of them. Mainly as cameos until the final one. Whereas this one, this is completely different. This is one big long story. Yeah. And I don't mean like literally one big long story. This is, it says The Last Day Part 1. It should say The Last Day Parts 1 to 6. And the other one will be parts 7 to 12. So yeah, this is going to end up being a 12-part story. And whoa, my God, do you feel it? It has that problem of throwing so much in there at once. It throws quite a bit in there. I mean, it does a much better job in terms of pacing and that. But yeah, the first part of this, the first couple of parts of this, reminded me quite a lot of when Chris Criminal did the first couple of episodes of Flux. The first episode of Flux, where it's actually shove every single thing in at once, cut between this, cut between that. That happens quite a bit in this. So yeah, which does make it a lot more confusing than it needs to be. And there's also non-linear stuff in there to make, you know, if it wasn't, you know, confusing enough trying to follow each of the characters and that individual stories happening within the big story, confusing enough, yeah, there's also flashbacks and non-linear stuff, and just like, yeah. So this is one of those Big Finish stories where you can't just like have it on in the background or something. This one, you've got to pay attention. You've got to listen to this one properly. So yeah, and the only reason normally I wouldn't bother buying this as a CD, and that normally I just I get most of my Big Finishes now with just digital copies. But this one I got as a CD. Since it's the 7th Doctor's last adventure and that, so yeah. There we go. I am disappointed though, they've just done it as a standard CD jewel case rather than, you know, like they did with the 6th Doctor, where they did it as a proper, you know, special edition CD box type thing, or a vinyl release or something like that. Yeah, Big Finish don't do vinyl releases anymore, which is a shame. But yeah, even their CD releases now are considered, like, this is limited edition, you know, in their CDs now are that. So, but yeah, and there we go, people, there we go.